This is my new and improved Jamais run. After recording the previous one, I was told the fastest time on the PlayStation 4 leaderboard was 3 minutes and 31 seconds, which was 1 second faster than me. So I figured, hey, I could clean my video up a little bit on another run, get a faster time. I was shooting for under 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, I didn't realize how lucky I got my previous video. This took me a week to do. So I'm going to explain the differences between this video and the previous one and talk a little bit about some things I didn't talk about in my previous video. First thing is, I'll talk about this guy here. He definitely seems to trigger faster if you're looking down your scope while kind of strafing around. So I kind of scope in right away as soon as I get in position and then just kind of take a few steps to try to get him to notice me quicker. With the first 3 guards I took out, I combined it all into one reflex instead of 2 separate reflexes, which I think is slightly faster from my previous video. And I take out the guard in the first wooden tower first because he always leans forward when he hears the gunshot, and then he will swivel his body to the right towards the sound of the gunshot, and then move his head downwards even more. And it's just a really hard shot to pull off when he's moving like that. He moves around like he's Neo in the Matrix. It's really hard to do. So I just lead my shot because I know he's going to lean into it and take him out first. These guards were an odd placement here. I usually get the same placement I got in my previous video with these 3 guards, but I adapted here. I did shoot the explosive barrel again to make sure they all got out of their hiding spots and triggered reflex for me. Now this part, I get to the Jeep when it's so far back, but I don't even know if that's really even a time saver because look how far away I am from the helipad. I have to run all this way back to get the trigger, which is about right here. The trigger seems to be about where the wooden crate on the left back there intersected with the 2 propane tanks. That seems about where the trigger is to trigger the helicopter to come into the helipad. So, even though I was able to run all the way to the Jeep when it was still pretty far out, I had to run all the way back in that time. Maybe it hurt me, maybe it helped me, I don't know. It's hard to test that. So here the C4 placement is a little bit different. I could not get the C4 to work the same as I did last time. I did find out though the explosive barrel resets when you checkpoint, so I used that to my advantage. And I placed these 2 C4s here because I'll be a little bit slow at taking out the initial rush of the guards after the helicopter gets destroyed. And some of the guards will have already run out of the gate and some of them will have run backwards onto the 3rd C4 I placed. So that, but you'll see what happens. In my previous video, the second C4 I placed was a little bit away from the door, and I blew it up when the guards had completely ran out. But that was just incredibly lucky, and I could not replicate that because when the guards run out, what they do is they run in different directions. Some run forward, some run backwards, and it's really hard to take them out with a C4 that isn't placed right next to the door. So I had to compromise and place it right next to the door this time. And my compromise was I shoot a rocket because there's guys in the room still, and shooting the rocket above the door somehow kills them. I guess previously that C4 I had placed against the wall next to the barrel had been able to kill the guys through the wall. I'm not really sure how, but that seemed to be what happened last time. And it also seems when you kill those guards, the first wave that just spawned right there really quickly, it'll force the last 3 guards to spawn outside of the room. I don't know if that's because the door's still open or there's dead bodies in there still. Just took them out so quickly. But that's how you can trigger them to spawn out, is seems to be taking them out really quickly. But like I was saying, the reason why some guards stay in that little room and why I had to shoot the rocket launcher to take them out was because normally they don't spawn until after the helicopter retreats, which is after 2 rockets. But if you're using my strategy and you use 3 rockets, the guards have already spawned before you shot your 3rd rocket. So when they spawn and then your rocket blows up the helicopter, they report that as an explosion. So they stop, crouch down, get on the radios in the little room and say they heard an explosion. So that delays them significantly from coming out of the room and letting you kill them. My previous video, like I said, I think my C4 got him somehow. In this video, I couldn't replicate my C4 placement from my previous video, so I had to compromise and use the rocket launcher and different C4 placement. But as you can see, I was 3 seconds faster.